Disney buried a Star Wars live-action series, fully written, fully designed, with scripts from some of the best writers in Hollywood. And the reason they killed it is something they never wanted you to know. It was called Star Wars Underworld, 50-plus hours of television, gone, and you were never supposed to find it. This wasn't a pitch deck. It wasn't a rumor. It was greenlit, scripted, and sitting inside Lucasfilm when Disney paid $4.05 billion to take the keys. And the real reason it disappeared isn't the one they told the press. It's worse than that. George Lucas started developing Underworld in 2005. Right after Revenge of the Sith wrapped, right after he finally closed out the prequel trilogy, he turned to the thing he'd wanted to build for years. A live-action Star Wars television series set in the criminal underworld of Coruscant. Not Jedis, not lightsabers, something darker. Think organized crime, political corruption, the people who exist in the space between the Empire and the Rebellion. The anthology Star Wars universe nobody had ever touched. He recruited serious talent. Ronald D. Moore, the man who rebooted Battlestar Galactica and made it one of the most acclaimed science fiction series ever made, was brought in to write scripts. Other A-list writers followed. By 2010, Lucasfilm had over 50 completed episodes sitting in development. Not outlines, full scripts, production-ready television. By 2012, the budget per episode had been estimated internally at $6 million. That's not unusual for premium television today, but in 2012, before HBO rewired what prestige TV could cost, it was considered extraordinary. Lucas talked about it publicly. In interviews, he described a series that would feel like a crime drama, morally ambiguous characters, storylines that had nothing to do with the Force. He said, and this is an exact quote, that it was much more of a dark, edgy underground kind of show. The sets were designed. The visual language was locked. Lucasfilm had a technology division working on ways to lower the production cost. They were building virtual production tools years before the volume became famous on The Mandalorian. The entire infrastructure to make this show existed. Scripts existed. The desire existed. Then on October 30, 2012, Disney paid $4 billion and change for Lucasfilm, and the clock started. Disney had its own Star Wars roadmap. Episode 7 was announced almost immediately. A new sequel trilogy, anthology films, Disney Plus was coming eventually. They had a galaxy to rebuild from scratch, and it was going to be built around theatrical releases, not a dark, morally complex crime show set between films that hadn't come out yet. The Underworld scripts were inherited. Nobody at Disney publicly killed them. Nobody publicly saved them either. They just stopped being mentioned. Lucasfilm Story Group, the new creative department Disney created to manage canon, took inventory of what they'd acquired. 50-plus scripts about crime lords and black market politics and the seedy belly of Coruscant. And the executives looked at what Disney needed Star Wars to be. And that's where the story really gets buried. Here's what they don't say in the press releases. Disney didn't kill Underworld because it was too expensive. They killed it because it was too good at the wrong thing. The scripts told stories that assumed the audience already cared about this world. Not through lightsaber battles or Force mythology, but through character and consequence. That's a harder sell. Disney's Star Wars strategy in 2012 was built around the widest possible audience. Families, children, merchandise, theme parks. Underworld was none of that. It was grown-up television for people who read the expanded universe novels and wanted complexity. And here's the twist that changes everything. They didn't even give the show a chance to fail. They shelved it before a single scene was filmed, before a single note of score, before a single test audience. Not because the numbers said it wouldn't work, because it hadn't been built under their control. They inherited something they didn't create, and the instinct was containment. The scripts have never been officially released. Some of the writers have spoken about them in interviews, carefully, the way people talk about something they signed an NDA around. Ronald D. Moore has confirmed the work existed, but the actual pages? Locked. 50 hours of Star Wars television, fully written, never made, and nobody in official communications has ever given a straight answer about what happened to them. Think about what Underworld would have become. A prestige crime drama set in the Star Wars universe, airing years before Disney+, years before Andor proved that dark, grown-up Star Wars television was exactly what audiences wanted. Andor, by the way, covers almost identical thematic territory. Coruscant, the criminal underworld, moral complexity, anti-imperial resistance in the shadows. It is in almost every meaningful way the show Underworld was supposed to be. The difference is Andor took 20 years to arrive. If Underworld had been made when those scripts were ready, the entire trajectory of prestige streaming television might look different right now. Those 50 scripts still exist somewhere, locked on a Lucasfilm server. The question nobody has ever forced Disney to answer is simple. Why won't they release them? And if you think Disney is the only studio sitting on something like this, wait until you hear what Warner Bros. Buried.